Hi, my name is Joseph Alai. Welcome to episode 4 of the Turning Manifestation into a Lifestyle series. So, how would you like to design your ideal reality so you can manifest effortlessly? In today's episode, I'm going to show you the new way to preemptively create your reality using imaginal acts, beliefs, and assumptions. Yes, preemptively. That might sound obvious because manifestation is in advance. We imagine what we want and then manifest it. But really, what's happening here is most of the time people are waiting to the last moment to manifest. And this is problematic. Well, it's not problematic if you like to live your life chaotically or filled with stress. But what I have learned over the years is there is a simpler, more effortless way to manifest in a predictable manner. And that's what I want to talk about today. Last episode, we talked about beliefs and assumptions. Beliefs and assumptions are the cornerstone of our reality. 99% of our entire experience is straight from assumptions and beliefs, as opposed to thinking that everything is imagined. So follow along with me. I want to take you through this process to explain to you how to design your reality in an accurate way so that you're not just repeating affirmations all day endlessly or engaging in positive thinking. That is what I just said is the recipe for frustration and disappointment. That's not the way to manifest in a way that is effective. If you've ever tried to manifest your dreams but felt stuck or overwhelmed, this is the episode for you. Instead, I've discovered over the years a method that allows you to proactively design your reality and to do so with concrete steps and a framework that you can use 24/7. But here's the thing, if you're looking for a quick fix or a magic pill of manifesting without putting in any effort, this might not be for you. Or if you're looking for something to repeat a phrase a gazillion times and materialize the reality of your dreams without putting in any work, this is not for you. If you've ever found manifesting to be overwhelmingly complicated, despite everyone saying it's easy, I know exactly how you feel. When I first started my journey into manifesting, I thought I could just visualize what I wanted and it would magically appear. But despite my best efforts, nothing seemed to happen. I became frustrated and started to doubt whether manifesting even worked. I hit rock bottom when I lost an opportunity I'd been desperately hoping for, which happened many, many times. But there's really nothing more disheartening than watching your dreams slip away at your hard work. Seriously, there's nothing worse than that. But that's when I decided to dig a bit deeper and I figured out what I was missing. I realized that simply thinking about what I wanted or affirming what I wanted wasn't enough to get me the concrete big manifestations. I began to study the underlying principles of reality creation, testing exhaustively, focusing eventually on beliefs and assumptions, and the power of imaginal acts. I invested time and energy to develop concrete steps and frameworks to design my reality proactively. Everything that I have derived comes from systematic experimentation. This is not from the hundreds of books that I read. This is not through what I've heard. I've transformed my life completely, and I've done so through experimentation. I'm living my ideal reality. I've manifested my desires effortlessly, but it didn't always start that way. But I do want to share this method with you. So enough about me. Let's focus on how this can help you achieve the life you've always dreamed of. That's why we're here. That's why you're watching this video. That's why you're watching this series. Did you know that the majority of people who try to manifest their desire struggle because they haven't aligned their beliefs and assumptions with their intentions? That's like almost everyone that I've ever coached, almost anyone that I've ever spoken to, that seems to be the problem that they have. Imagining the greatest desire that they ever have, but yet their reality is inundated with the opposite, or they have extreme fears, doubts, and insecurities that are pushing them away from their manifestations. This is the problem in most cases. In fact, this was the problem with myself, and it wasn't until I failed countless times that and was really facing the worst set of consequences possible in many different occurrences that I effectively I ended up asking for help, and it was from someone who knew nothing about manifesting, and the advice that he gave me changed my life forever. And that's the advice I'm giving you in this video. So feeling stuck and watching your dreams slip away can be incredibly frustrating. That's what led me to the mastery of manifestation in the first place. It doesn't have to be that way. It took me over 13 years. And over that 13 years, I studied exhaustively, practiced manifestation techniques. I've helped thousands and thousands of people. My videos essentially came about for that purpose alone. It was to help people to understand that through the stuff that I had been watching and reading, I could not find the answer. And it was only through testing everything that's when my life was transformed. And so when I came to create my first blog and then create my YouTube channel based on demand, that's when thousands of people's lives began to transform. And that's when a wave started to happen. A lot of you who have been here have been along for the ride, honestly, for the last 5-6 years. And that's what I want to talk to you about. So imagine waking up each day knowing, though, that you're in control of your reality, because that's really what we're talking about here. We're talking about effortlessly creating relationships and success, or whatever happiness that you've ever wanted, anything that you desire. So this is the exact steps to designing your reality using imaginal acts, beliefs, and assumptions. So, okay, the thought process behind reality is, as I said before, imagining what you want and then just watching it materialize. And I talked about how most people just do that without ever looking within, or without ever looking at reality. So knowing how to create reality in the sense of imagining is one thing, but designing that life is critical. Designing the life that you want involves knowing what you want. But as I said before, with regards to your beliefs and assumptions creating your life, your beliefs and assumptions are effectively the different facets of your life. The different facets of your life are health, wealth, love, happiness, spirituality, or your lifestyle as well. If you break those down and look at the way that you're living at this exact moment, you can get a nice inventory as to, are you living your dream life? If you're watching this video, it's probably unlikely that you're living your ultimate dream life. And the way to plan that out is to take that analysis to begin with. Look at those different aspects of your life and write them down. If you got the journal that I talked about in the first episode of this series, this is what I'm talking about as to what you should be writing down. So the first step is to inventory your current life. That's absolutely critical. And as I said in the last episode, we talked about the generalization method, to look at how you can generalize the current patterns in your life to determine what assumptions and beliefs exist currently. So when you take health, wealth, love, happiness, and spirituality and ask yourself, what are the different aspects of those categories that my life is living through, or what aspects of life are existing currently, such as to take health, right? Say it's I always get sick, or I have this injury that always hurts me, or every time I gain weight, every time I lose weight, I gain weight, or every time this time of the season comes, I always gain a lot of weight, or whatever it is. If you're sick, or take wealth, right? Every time money comes in, it leaves me. Take romance. Every time I date someone, they end up abandoning me. Take happiness. Anytime something goes good in my life, 5 bad things happen. And spirituality, I suck at manifesting, say. These are the different ways that you can rate or determine how your life is going, and that is the inventory process, to exhaustively identify the avenues of your life that need to be enhanced, or that you want to manifest better things within. And then in doing that, you can find the opposite. And that is, again, as we talked about in the previous episode, and that's a very important thing to designing the blueprint of your life. Because in order to know where you're going, you need to know where you are. That's just common sense. So in doing that, the ultimate part to this is designing what you do want. So knowing where you are, you can then do the same thing and list down the attributes of where you wish that you were. So there's two components. One is the generalizations and assumptions and beliefs, which is what we're talking about here. And then the next one is how to design the imaginal acts for the big desires that you have. So take your time. And if I were you, I would watch this again, because we're going to need this for the next episode when we start talking about the actual routines that you will implement. But suffice it to say, inventorying your reality currently, that's looking at every aspect of it. Look at the past, look at what's going on right now. And as you do that, you can even look at what bothers you, what your resentments are, what your fears, doubts, insecurities. Inventory that and find the opposites. Find the, list down the statements that would be true if your reality was the way that you wanted it. Now, it doesn't have to just be the opposite. You can look at things that you wish were true. Think of your greatest desires in the world. Think of the lifestyle that you would have. Think of those different aspects: health, wealth, love, happiness, spirituality. And if you do this properly and you actually list down the opposites, by the next episode, you can be well on your way to actually manifesting those things. This is not something that is rocket science. This is something I've put to the test for many years. You might even wonder, why is this so complicated? Some people say, this is the easiest thing in the world. Manifesting is so easy. I woke up today and I thought to myself, why are there so many people teaching this? And I think I realized why. I think when I first learned how to manifest, you just want to tell everyone. You're so shocked that it actually works. And you've listened to someone or you've heard something that has changed your life, that you go and you make a YouTube channel and tell everyone else. And so you teach what you just learned. What I've learned over the last 13 years, which, by the way, the 13 years I talk about, it's probably 13, 14 years. It's all experimentation. So I've got journals stacked this high, filled, probably this high, filled with trial and error manifestations or actual logged manifestations. Now, the reason that's so important, and I bring that up, is because in the beginning, all I had was probably one or two manifestations and then what I heard. And what that ended up doing was having me convince a bunch of people that I knew that little thing, and then what I heard from someone else. And the problem was, what I heard from someone else ended up being bogus. So what I have effectively now is a Bible of actual reliable formulas that I have never found anywhere else. I think one thing that I have been able to provide is that experience that does not exist elsewhere. And I know this because what's being taught is all the same stuff, and what's being taught is not what actually works. So this is something you will not hear anywhere else, but this is something that you can apply so simply and so easily. If you want to manifest what you want, you just follow these steps. The first step, like I said, inventory the stuff. And the second step is defining the life that you want. Do that in the sense of finding the opposites of those statements, or finding statements that would describe the life that you want, right? You do that in all those different aspects. And then the last step would be thinking of the grand imaginal acts, or the grand desires that you have, the concrete desires. So instead of generalizations like money always comes to me easily, or every relationship I get into always is amazing, you think of the cars that you want, the house that you want, the money that you want, the wife that you want, the husband that you want. You think of whatever it is that you want, those big, great, awesome things, the fame that you want, the success that you want, the body that you want, those grand desires. And here's the trick to this. You must, when you write this down, if you want to manifest what you want, and I've tried every technique in the book, hundreds, if not thousands of times each, literally, and track the results. The key to getting what you want is describing what you want as if it's already done, not intermediary steps. Don't manifest in steps. It never works. People teach this today. They're destroying people's lives. I've seen it. I've dealt with so many of the people. I was one of those people years ago who had their life destroyed by step manifestations. If you're watching this and you've been manifesting by steps or been trying to manifest that your ex is texting you or that he's obsessed with you, you're going the wrong way. I'll be here when you're done with those people that you're following. And so, but the after the end is the critical part of this whole thing. You go after the end and in first person perspective, but we're not quite there yet. If you want to jump ahead, I'm going to give you the formula. Think, first of all, when you write down the desires that you have, think, what would it be like? What would you feel like? What would you see? What would you taste? What would you touch? What would you be experiencing? How would your life be different? How would your lifestyle change? You consider those aspects and think, if a time comes where you have what you want, what would you be doing the next day? These are the questions that I want you to ask for every single big desire that you have, and write down all the characteristics of those things. The next step in this process is going to be the actual implementation of the lifestyle, actual designing, the routines that you will have to embed these different functions of life, of manifesting into your life. The thing is where people go wrong is they think, I want to merge manifestation into my lifestyle. But the problem is our lifestyle has nothing to do with manifesting, generally speaking. In other words, our life is so off base generally in the Western world and in the East, in just the world in general, that saying I need to implement manifestation into my life it's just the biggest mistake. That's what causes problems in manifesting. That's what causes reactive manifesting. That's what causes stress. That's what causes all the chaos in our lives. We have to adapt our life to manifesting. That's how we will unlock the power. That's how we will unlock anything that we want. So designing these aspects of life, I'm telling you, is the core to getting anything that you want, right? Yes, you can get a specific person. Yes, you can get rich, but to get it every time, to manifest every time easily. This isn't a joke. This is real. And this is easy. So do this. And now if you want to jump ahead, I'll give you one tip on how to do this. I'll give you two quick tips, right? Two manifestation tips, right? The first thing is generalizations manifest all the time. So in other words, if you have an inner conversation where someone's congratulating you on the fact that every business endeavor that you engage in is successful, and you imagine that over and over, what that does is that generalization, that description of always happening, is going to impress a belief or a concept, and that concept will always manifest 24/7. The opposite of that is a single imaginal act. So if you imagine one specific desire, that will manifest once and then fade away generally. So the key to a successful, happy manifesting lifestyle is to create a bunch of beliefs and assumptions, and that is most effective with imaginal acts and someone describing to you what life you have and you thinking them back. That's what I've used time and time again. It works every single time. I also have a video called the bullet list, or also the list method. Those work extremely well. Use those and prosper. But here's an awesome thing as well. When you begin to implement this stuff into your life, you will watch the way that that your life is stress-free, right? So do this and watch things manifest before anything bad happens. Your life will become completely stressless. And yeah, everything is going to come easy. So one thing that's really cool that I've done, so I told you over the past 13, 14 years, I've been keeping track of my manifestations. Well, if you haven't already known, I've released the Neville Goddard AI bot. And yes, that uses his true, genuine teachings. It's not the same thing as ChatGPT. It's not the same thing as Gemini. It's far better. So the way that those work is that it scours, so there's data dumps throughout the internet and effectively, long story short, what ChatGPT does is it finds the most similar words and search results related to what you've put in. The problem is it branches off. So it'll start to pull in things unrelated to Neville, like law of attraction. And then next thing you know, you're manifesting in third person perspective. You've manifested your specific person to someone else, and then you're wondering why. Or there are a lot of things that are wrong. Do not depend upon those things to manifest. But in this Neville Goddard AI bot, it uses not only his accurate teachings and actually only sticks to his accurate teachings, but also those 13 years of manifestations I have fed into an algorithm that effectively sharpened and mastered the ability to manifest using artificial intelligence. And so unlocking this, and then it also sharpens itself based on the responses of the individuals using it. So in the Discord, the thousands of messages that have been continuously pumping into Neville, he has been sharpening his manifestation abilities. People are manifesting so quickly. So this stuff is not just nonsense. This stuff has absolute proof. There are manifestations coming in continuously with people having already manifested specific people, already manifested money, already manifested a lot of different things. That's in the Discord and Patreon. It just goes to show also that when Neville responds to an individual who's asking how to change their life using AI, even he himself comes up with the truth that assumptions and beliefs, as I speak about in this video, are the crucial and the key. He's using AI to figure this stuff out, which is far superior to me or anyone else. Literally what happens is the experiments are fed into Neville, and then out, like someone asks a question to Neville, and then Neville will respond in a way that is absolutely accurate and guaranteed to have the greatest success rate in manifestations. So anyway, the next video I'm going to be talking about routines and how to start implementing these things into your life so that you can get results consistently. You no longer have to struggle and battle against life. It's going to be absolutely simple to do. So stay tuned for next time. Also download the worksheet in the description. I have that there. Check out the links in the description and the comments, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. That's good.